steady, girl! Enoch! Get up here! Enoch!
What's the matter now?
Oh, tow rope's caught.
I'm not undoing everything again. Blissworth all over again. Go on with ya! Go on!
Go!
Hang on. There it is. We're caught in a bicycle. But good and all. Somebody chucked a bicycle in the canal.
It's green.
What about it?
It's a green bicycle. The green bicycle.
Oh, yeah. Where's the next police station?
Will be Newton Harcourt.
If there ain't rewards, I'm keeping that. Get up! Go on!
Birkett and the Green Bicycle by Caroline and David Stafford, with Neil Dudgeon as Norman Birkett and Alan Raglan as Edgar.
Prosecuting?
Yes, sir, at Leicester Assizes. The Attorney General did ask specifically.
How long?
Hard to say.
I thought you said it was straightforward.
Man on a green bicycle meets a young woman cyclist, Bella Wright, in a lane on the outskirts of Leicester. She's got a problem with a bicycle. Man offers to help. She's going to see her uncle in a village called Golby. The man waits for her. They ride off together. Half an hour later, farmer finds the woman dead in a field, shot through the head. The man's vanished. The green bicycle's vanished. A few months later, the green bicycle turns up dumped in a canal. The serial number's been filed off the frame, but the police find another serial number underneath the saddle. This leads them to a shop in Derby that had records of selling the machine to a Ronald Light. Police pick up Ronald Light, and at first he denies everything. Says he never owned a bicycle, never met the girl, never been to Golby. Then he changes his story, says he did own the bicycle, but sold it soon after he bought it.
And who's to say he didn't?
There's witnesses there, sir. Identified Light. Saw him with the woman on the day of her death.
Did the police have a murder weapon?
They found a holster and cartridges near the bike when they dragged the canal.
So it is straightforward.
He's an officer and a gentleman, sir. She's a factory girl and a female cyclist. Could go on for weeks, you see.
Who's defending?
It's our old friend Sir Edward Marshall Hall.
Oh, Lord.
I believe his people still shoot tenants for sport, sir.
That's gratuitous slander. He will mount a robust and circumlocutory defence.
Oh, the gloves will be off, sir. No doubt about it. Shall I book the station hotel?
No. If it's in Leicester, I might take the opportunity to look up a few old friends in Bourneville.
Ah, where the chocolate comes from.
After Cambridge, I worked for a while as personal secretary to George Cadbury.
You know, you could tempt me with the licorice all sort. But to be honest, I've never really seen the sense in chocolate.
Did you want the silk dressing gown that I got you for Christmas?
Better not. The Cadburys may consider it rather louche.
You have nothing in sackcloth.
I just don't want to give them the wrong impression.
That the second you left their employ, you embarked on a life of cocktails and opium.
They're good people. It's very kind of them to put me up. Edgar wanted me to stay at the Station Hotel in Leicester. It smells of rancid gravy. You're sure you won't come? Mrs. Cadbury was particularly anxious to see you again.
I cannot leave Linnea. She is colicky. And you are prosecuting.
At the request of the Attorney General.
In a murder trial. And if you win?
He murdered an innocent young woman.
So he deserves to hang. The last time you had so many sleepless nights.
You had sleepless nights and kept me awake. Anyway, last time was different.
You also said that last time.
One grows...
hard. Uncaring.
Inured. Is that the statement from the bicycle shop?
No, look, that's in here somewhere.
Mr. Cadbury said you'd be very welcome, and he's been kind enough to put a car at our disposal. Have you ever been to Bourneville?
No.
It is a remarkable place, a template for what the modern town should be. Wonderful open spaces.
Only I like a cup of tea now and then, see?
Quakers drink tea, Edgar.
They prefer cocoa.
Not always.
I've seen them, sir, drinking cocoa in the middle of the day.
And that makes them unnatural, does it?
Well, what's wrong with having a cup of tea?
There's nothing wrong with having a cup of tea.
Alcohol, I can understand. But you see a man naked in Trafalgar Square singing Polly Wolly Doodle. He's not been drinking tea, has he? It's a cup of tea.
Oh, good Lord.
What's that, sir?
Oh, the green bicycle. It was a BSA 3-speed deluxe. I used to own one, Edgar, just like it. Green, too, when I lived in Bourneville. Billy had a rally.
Well, this is before she was Mrs. Birkett.
We used to ride through Northfield and Longbridge, take picnics in the Lickey Hills, before the war. Good bicycle. A little prone to mechanical breakdown, but faster than the rally. Although Billy, of course, could always beat me on the flat.
But you met her in Birmingham then, I didn't realise.
Oh, yes. And she worked at Cadbury's too. She ran PT classes. They weren't compulsory, but everybody went. All part of the Bourneville ideal. Well-fed, well-paid, well-housed, healthy and virtuous, mens sana in corpore sano.
And cocoa in the middle of the day. I used to see him in the trenches, sitting around a big vat of it. All the conchies on the medical go. Weakens the blood. I mean, what did they think the Boche were going to do? Sit down in silent prayer with them, put your bayonet down, Fritz, and have a nice cup of cocoa. I had a Sunbeam. Awful thing I bought. Second-hand from my cousin. Had no proper brakes. I gave a terrible cropper outside Fishguard once.
The only slight worry is there's only an ounce or so of chocolate in the product, but we'd have to sell it at the same price as a 4-ounce bar.
Oh, it is a very different experience. Different taste, almost, to a standard bar of chocolate. Does it have a name?
Yeah, Flake. We were thinking of calling it the Flake.
It is very good.
I wouldn't want people to think we're giving them short measure.
I'm sure they won't.
I'll get Mrs. Dempsey to pack a box or two to take home with you, see what Mrs. Birkett thinks. Yeah, she's well.
As ever.
Oh, excuse me. Come and see this. He instructs his drivers to do it deliberately.
Who?
John Davenport.
The brewer?
Yes, a former milkman.
Yes?
He seems to have come up with the extraordinary idea of delivering beer to the doorstep just like morning milk. Well, there are no public houses here in Bourneville. You only have to look at the faces in the streets to know that the people are healthier and happier as a result.
Of course.
Oh, but he drives his beer lorries up and down the streets, honking their horns, undoing all that good work. Yeah, Bourneville is, to all intents and purposes, a private estate. Surely there's some way I can stop him, Birkett. Could the law of trespass be invoked?
Oh, that would be a very complicated matter, and one on which I'm afraid I am not best qualified to give advice. There are specialists in that branch of the law. I'm sure my clerk could recommend someone reliable.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. If you could give me a moment.
Come in.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cadbury. You said you wanted to sign these as soon as they were ready.
Yes, of course. Yeah, you remember Mr. Birkett, don't you, Henry?
Mr. Birkett?
Mr. Graham, it's very good to see you again. Keeping well?
Yes?
Yeah, this one has to go by special messenger. The others can go in the late post.
Well,
I'm here for a few days. Perhaps we'll meet again.
I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you, Henry.
Good evening, gentlemen.
You must excuse me, Mr. Birkett. That was thoughtless. Yeah, Mr. Graham took over from you as my private secretary. I should have warned you.
Warned me?
Yeah, didn't...
What?
No. It doesn't matter. It was indelicate, perhaps, to mention it.
Now I'm intrigued.
I'm sorry. I thought there was a certain enmity between yourself and Mr. Graham.
Not that I'm aware of.
You're good.
Enmity caused by what?
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding on my part, I'm sure.
Why should there be bad feeling between myself and Henry Graham?
You stole his girl.
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, that is the nature of the accusation. Mr. Cadbury, of course, has never breathed an indiscreet or inappropriate word in his life. But after dinner, I had a word with Mrs. Dempsey, his housekeeper, an old pal. And this Graham chap claimed, apparently, to have had some sort of understanding with Billy.
I'm sure there's no truth in it, sir.
He is a handsome chap. Sporty physique, square jaw, marvellous head of hair.
Quaker?
Oh, very much so.
Country, then?
He was a stretcher-bearer at Ypres. I expect he saved hundreds of lives.
And drank gallons of cocoa.
Morning, Birkett. Morning, Edgar.
Sir Edward?
Sir?
I thought this was supposed to be pig country. Pork pies up the road in Melton Mowbray, stinker pigs all the way from Copson Magna, and on my plate this morning they put 2 sausages you'd be better off smoking.
Oh, dear.
This at the Stag, in some bucolic slum out towards Market Harbour. Attleborough recommended it, probably because I kicked his dog once. You two at the station?
I'm at the station, sir. Very nice breakfast, actually.
What about you, Birkett?
I'm staying with George Cadbury over in Bournemouth.
Oh, honoured guest in Utopia. Is it true they start each day with an hour's maypole dancing, then sing with glee the whole day long?
You should pay a visit.
My sister had a little model village when we were children. One day the vicar, an Anglo-Catholic of the deepest dye, in what I thought was a singularly apt metaphor, absent-mindedly trod on her little church, quite crushing it to splinters. Does Cadbury have a model hospital and a model school to go with his model homes and model swords?
The school has established itself a formidable reputation.
Sending scholarship boys to Oxford, no doubt, to vandalise the tranquillity with their boots and vowels.
As a matter of fact, I went to Cambridge on a scholarship.
Oh, Cambridge. What do you think of eyebrows? Mine were almost unnoticeable till I reached the age of 50, since when they have grown like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in its season. My barber tried to trim them, but I think they enhance my facial expressions. Do you see? Stern, amused, thoughtful, surprised.
And has Sir Edward bothered to formulate any coherent defence? Or is he leaving all that to his eyebrows?
As far as I can see from the witnesses he's called, he's bringing all his guns to bear on the question of identification. If he can cast enough doubt on whether Ronald Light ever was the man on the green bicycle, he's hoping Justice Horridge will chuck it out as a no case to answer.
And to prevent his doing that, we have first-class witnesses. The 2 little girls with the unfortunate names.
Nothing wrong with Muriel, sir.
I was thinking of Valeria. Muriel and Valeria. Which is which?
Muriel's the older one.
And, of course, we have the bicycle shop man.
Henry Cox. I'm a cycle dealer and repairer, and my shop is on Mere Road in the Wigston area of Leicester.
Now, I believe that on the 2nd of July of last year, a green BSA 3-speed deluxe bicycle was brought into your shop for repair. Is that correct?
That is correct. A gentleman had occasion to bring the bicycle into the shop because of excessive play in the gears, resulting in the cogs not properly engaging. There were also 1 or 2 minor adjustments to be made.
Did the gentleman give his name?
He gave his name as Captain Ronald Light.
And did you talk to Captain Light?
During the course of inspecting the work that was necessary to undertake on the bicycle, we did engage in conversation. Captain Light told me he was a demobilised officer and said he was on leave, on full pay, before returning to the firm at which he worked in London. I told him he was jammy and asked what I wouldn't give for a month's leave. We laughed.
Now, I wonder if you could tell
him that I would have the bicycle ready for him by the following day.
So,
However,
I wonder after...
when he returned the following day, I had to inform him that, upon further examination, I had ascertained that the cause of the excessive play in the gears was a frayed cable.
I
Since
see.
this would incur additional expense, I deemed it necessary to gain his permission before replacing the defective cable.
That is a very full account, Mr. Cox, for which we thank you, and add our gratitude for the clearly excellent service offered by your shop.
I was just going to say that we do our best to oblige, sir. Captain Light paid 4 shillings and 9pence for the repairs and rode the bicycle away.
So, having
then on
repaired...
the Friday, he returned yet again, asking to have the new cable shortened.
I see.
So Captain Light finally took the machine away on the Saturday.
And?
That's all.
So,
that would have been Saturday the 5th of July.
You have an excellent memory, Mr. Cox.
Thank you.
I wonder if you could remember what Captain Light was wearing when he picked up the bicycle.
He was wearing a raincoat, a fawn raincoat, military style. He expressed an intention to go out for a lengthy ride in order thoroughly to test the capabilities of the newly repaired machine. I suggested the rake should see him all right coming down the hills if he had the puff to get up them. We laughed.
I'm sure you did. Now, on the 9th of July, you went to your local police station. Could you tell the court why?
I read in the Leicester Mercury about the murder in Little Stretton and about it being a man on a green bicycle, so I thought it was my duty as a citizen to report my dealings with Captain Light.
And I'm sure we must applaud your vigilance. You made a statement to Superintendent Bowley.
I told him about Captain Light bringing the bicycle into the shop.
In commendable detail, I'm sure. Now, on the 4th of March of this year, you were asked to go to the police station again. Why was that?
I was asked to pick Captain Light out from a line of 12 men of various builds and colourings.
And you were able to do this?
Effortlessly.
Even though this was some 8 months after your previous encounter?
Well, I have an almost infallible memory for faces. Once I saw a man in a park I'd met 15 years previously. I immediately remembered him, his name and the name of his dog.
Now, perhaps I can ask you to remember the 5th of March of last year. The day after you identified Captain Light, you were asked once again to go to the police station, I believe.
Yes, this time to identify the machine.
And is your memory for bicycles as infallible as that for faces and dogs?
Oh, better, I'd say. I recognise a certain pattern of scratches on the frame. The fact that one of the screws in the gearbox assembly had at some point been replaced by a round-headed screw, more common to Royal Enfields and Spaldings than BSAs, and I spotted a John Bull patch on the rear tyre, which I had noted as being rather ineptly applied, but which had, to my very great surprise, survived even the prolonged immersion in the canal that the machine had suffered.
Now, Mr. Cox, I want you to answer this next question very carefully. Do you see Captain Ronald Light, the man whose bicycle you mended between the 2nd and the 5th of July of last year, do you see him in this courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you indicate where in the courtroom you see him?
Over there.
Could you perhaps point him out?
There.
Could you perhaps point him out and state his name?
Pardon?
Could you point him out while stating the name of the gentleman at whom you are pointing?
Oh, right. He's over there. Mr. Light, over there.
I wonder, could you say exactly what you said, but perhaps a little louder?
He's over...
While pointing.
My lord!
No more questions!
It wasn't that bad.
I'm sure that for the lucky few intrigued by the tensile strength of bicycle cabling, it was a thoroughly entertaining 2 hours.
The actual testimony was solid as a rock.
But who was listening? I gave the man his moment, the moment to which most witnesses rise with intemperate histrionics. Point out the wrongdoer with your finger of guilt. And he fluffed it 3 times.
It's not as if the jury wouldn't have believed him.
They were so bored by that stage, I doubt whether they had an opinion one way or the other. They stopped listening somewhere around the treatise on round-headed screws and loose nuts. I lost control of the witness, Edgar.
Oh, there was nothing you could have done, sir.
There were 1,000 things I could have done.
Not without being rude or violent.
Who's next?
Muriel.
Not Valeria.
Muriel.
Muriel Nunny. I'm 14, and I live at the top end of Barbary Road, just near the Fox and Goose.
Thank you, Muriel. Now, were you out cycling with a friend on the 5th of July last year?
My lord, I must protest. This witness was not interviewed by the police until March of this year, some 8 months after the day in question. I insist that the judge inform the jury to bear in mind that counsel suggested the date to the witness.
The jury will please take note. Continue, Mr. Birkett.
Did I say something wrong?
Not at all. The fault was entirely my own. Now, Muriel, can you tell me what happened on that day?
Which day?
The day about which you spoke to the police.
5th of July.
That's it.
I went out on my bicycle with my friend Valeria Green, round Staunton Way, but there wasn't much going on, so after a bit we thought we'd go home.
What time would this be?
About 5:30. Valeria's only 12 and I promised her mother I'd have her back by 7. And we'd hardly seen a soul all day. But just up the lane where we were, there was this man coming the other way, on a green bicycle.
Did he speak to you?
He did, yes.
What did he say?
I can't remember. Something about the weather, I think. But we knew we weren't supposed to talk to strangers, so we just carried on.
And then what happened?
Well, he turned his bicycle round and followed us. He chased after us. He kept trying to ask us where we were going, and when we wouldn't talk to him, he gave up and turned round again.
Can you describe him for us?
He had a light suit on, and he had a mac over his shoulder. His bicycle was green, had these funny handlebars turned upwards.
And did you identify that man to the police out of a parade of 12 men?
Yes.
Do you see that man here in court today, Muriel?
Yes, I can, sir. And there he sits. That is the man on the green bicycle.
No further questions.
Now, Miss Nunny, over the past few months, did you read in your father's newspaper, perhaps, or hear about what has been called the green bicycle case?
Yes, sir.
And you saw photographs?
Yes, sir.
So you knew about this poor girl being found dead in the road?
Yes, sir.
You read it in the papers, I suppose?
Yes, sir.
You were asked whether you had seen this particular man on the 5th of July.
Yes.
The police told you the date.
Yes.
No further questions.
She played to the gallery. Irving himself could not have given a more compelling performance.
The look on Sir Edward's face. You could see. Even he knew he was wasting his time with the prior knowledge.
Home and dry, Edgar?
Well, I can't see what else Sir Edward's got.
He'll be putting up light himself, of course.
And good luck to him with that.
Yes?
Captain Light's got a squeaky voice. Never met a jury yet that could abide a squeaky voice.
Sir Edward could still make some headway on the motive, or the lack of a murder weapon.
No preparation. No witnesses called, no depositions made. I mean, he was that cocksure he could make the misidentification stick. He always was that, wasn't he?
What's that?
Well, pleased with himself. Sir Edward. Be nice to take him down a peg or two.
The law is not a sport, Edgar.
There are those who say that, but I've yet to meet a silk who wouldn't rather win than see a fair trial.
The look on his face. Oh, by the way, did you get anywhere with that Davenport business?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Mr. Newberry's up here doing some work for Leicester Council. He reckons there's not much more Mr. Cadbury can do to stop the beer lorries coming into Bourneville, but he might be able to stop them selling beer if he can make a nuisance charge stick. Although he fears it might be Sturgis versus Bridgman, or even Rylands versus Fletcher.
Oh, Lord.
Exactly.
Spirits have been broken and minds destroyed trying to interpret Rylands versus Fletcher.
I've known grown men weep at its invocation.
And Fieldhouse was the accredited expert, of course. Fieldhouse on Trespass remains the book that strikes fear into the heart of every law student. It's heavy as a small house and impenetrable as mild steel. Oh, Fieldhouse would definitely be the man for the job if he's still alive. Unless, of course, he's Gaga. Fieldhouse, believe me, was never known to lose a case principally because nobody had the least idea what he was talking about. I met him once. 5'2" and looks as if he's made of walnuts. I don't suppose you have a peppermint, do you?
Can't say as I have, sir.
Thought I might stop off for a stiffener before going back to Bourneville. Cadbury never comments, but you can feel the censure.
Now, Captain Light, there has been a great deal written about this case in the popular press. A great deal. There has been speculation and rumour, and now I want you to tell everyone here in the courtroom the truth. Have you ever owned a green bicycle?
Yes.
And did you use that bicycle on the evening of the 5th of July last year?
Yes.
And did you meet Bella Wright, the unfortunate girl who was murdered on that evening?
I didn't know her name then, but yes, I met her. I had been visiting friends near Oadby and was riding along the road towards Little Stretton when, at about 7:45, I saw a girl standing by her bicycle at the roadside. I thought she may be in trouble, so I stopped.
Naturally.
She was a stranger to me. I'd never seen her before. She asked me whether I had a spanner. I didn't have one with me. I looked at her bicycle and found there was a certain amount of play in the freewheel, but it was of no great account. She got on her bicycle and we rode on together.
But you didn't introduce yourselves. She didn't tell you her name.
No. We chatted. She was a... She worked in a factory. A rubber tyre factory. She made bicycle tyres. So that's what we talked about, mostly. Bicycles. We went down one steep hill and up another and rode on until we arrived in the village of Galby.
And then you parted?
Yes.
And you never saw her again?
No. I had to pump up my tyres several times on the way home and in the end took to walking. I arrived home eventually around 10. I left my bicycle in the back kitchen and went to bed.
And when did you learn of Bella Wright's death?
The following Tuesday, I saw accounts in the paper of the girl's death, and came to the conclusion that the girl who lost her life must have been the one I was with. My mother went to Rill that day, and I put the bicycle in the box room.
And you didn't tell a living soul of this matter? Not even your own mother?
She would have been the last person I wanted to know of it.
Don't you see that you made a fatal mistake by not telling anyone?
If I told anybody, I would have had to tell everybody. If I had gone to the police, I could not have assisted them in detecting the crime. If I could have helped, I would most certainly have done so.
Surely you must see that if you had gone to the police and told them what really happened, they could have eliminated you from their inquiries. Then they would have had the chance to pursue the real perpetrator of this heinous action.
I see that now. I was astounded and frightened by this unexpected thing. I kept on hesitating, and in the end I drifted into doing nothing at all.
Surely you could have said, "Come and search my house, I have no revolver." That's right, isn't it, Captain Light? You don't own a revolver, do you?
As a gunner in the Honourable Artillery Company in France, I owned a revolver. In 1918 I was invalided out with shell shock, and my weapon was taken away from me in a casualty station near Amiens.
You suffered shell shock as a result of fighting for king and country.
Yes.
So even though you didn't own a weapon, and the girl, when you parted, was alive and well, you still felt unable to go to the police and tell them what had happened.
It would have meant unpleasant publicity, and that is what I shrank from. I didn't realise what a difficult position I was putting myself in.
Quite. What did you do with your bicycle?
I threw it away in October.
Before you threw it away, did you do anything with it?
Yes. I loosened some parts and some bolts and nuts. And I filed off the serial number. I didn't want it to be identified.
What about the holster and the cartridges that were found?
I came across them in the box room, so I put the cartridges in the holster and threw them all into the canal.
Captain Light, I'm afraid I have to ask you certain questions of a delicate nature.
Yes.
Now, I remind the court that medical testimony has established that Bella Wright had not been intimately assaulted and was, at the time of her death, Virgo intacta. So I ask you, Captain Light, was there any intimacy or even a suggestion of intimacy between yourself and Bella Wright?
She was a factory girl.
I can see the imputation shocks you, Captain Light, but I'm afraid I must press the point. Was there any flirtation in your dealings with this unfortunate girl?
An officer, a good officer, takes a certain pride in his ability to speak to other ranks, not as an equal, of course, but as a respected ally. I was often commended for the ease with which I was able to chat and joke with the men. Am I now to stand accused of failing to be a snob? For not being standoffish? For having the common decency to speak to a factory girl?
Captain Light, you're not to make speeches. I don't think we need to press this point any further, Sir Edward. I'm sure the jury agrees that if any sex attraction had been involved, then a man of Captain Light's class would have done what he wanted first and shot her afterwards.
Thank you, my lord. One last question, Captain Light. Did you shoot this unfortunate creature?
Certainly not.
That is all.
I realise it must be very mundane for you, Birkett.
I try very hard not to talk shop.
Yeah, but for we outsiders, it's a rare chance to gain insight into the legal processes. Isn't that right, Henry?
Of course.
Unless, of course, there's a question of confidentiality.
Oh, not at all. The evidence and testimony have been presented in open court.
Yeah. Is cocoa all right for you, Birkett? I could get you tea or coffee.
Oh, no, cocoa's fine.
Yeah.
Isn't the trial as good as over now?
Far from it.
I thought Light stood up in court and confessed that he was the man on the green bicycle.
That was clever.
Clever?
Well, the evidence on both sides, up until that point, had been almost exclusively devoted to establishing whether Light was the man on the green bicycle. His apparent confession that he was such turned the entire case on its head, because, of course, proving that he was the man on the green bicycle is a long way from proving that he is the murderer. The case for the prosecution...
that's your case.
To a degree, was based on Ronald Light's insistent denial of facts which we were able to establish were undeniable.
So you've lost?
Far from it. Sir Edward's defence at the moment seems to rest on nothing more than snobbery, that an officer and a gentleman would not stoop so low as to murder a factory girl. A point of view with which Justice Horridge, it seems, enthusiastically concurs.
Is a judge actually allowed to make comments like that?
Well, supposedly not. But one does not object in the middle of a trial to the actions of a judge. Even to mention it in a subsequent appeal would be to dice with disaster. But the annals of criminal law contain too many examples of gentlemen, often of the highest rank in society, murdering serving girls, dairymaids, serfs and fishwives for the snobbery defence fully to persuade.
Oh, my word.
Justice Horridge might think that gentlemen should be allowed to get away with it. He might even prefer to live in a world where they do get away with it, but he knows the law decrees otherwise.
Yes, so you're confident of securing a conviction?
It would seem so. Unless, of course, Sir Edward changes his tactics a second time.
Tactics? It's a game, then?
I was speaking metaphorically.
But if you were in Sir Edward's position, if you were defending rather than prosecuting, how would you proceed?
I'm not sure. For obvious reasons, Sir Edward has been so eager to play down the significance of the holster and cartridges being thrown into the canal along with the bicycle that he's been afraid to mention what seems to me to be a very promising line of inquiry.
Oh?
From the nature of the wound... I'm sorry, you don't mind?
No, go on.
The wounds caused by the entry of the bullet into Bella Wright's head and its exit from the other side are both quite small, neat holes. The bullet itself was later found on the ground near the body, very damaged and distorted both by its passage through the skull and, by this time, a herd of cows had passed by and trodden on it, squashing it flat.
Oh, goodness.
It has been deduced, however, from the weight of the lead and so forth, that the bullet was of a .455 calibre, and so could have come from the standard Webley pistol with which Light would have been issued. Now, a bullet of that calibre, if fired from close range, would not make two neat holes. The skull would shatter. The difficulty comes in imagining the scene. One can imagine, for instance, Light making sexual advances, Bella Wright refusing him, so Light produces a revolver, threatens her, the revolver perhaps accidentally goes off, but then the gun would have been fired at close range. Under what circumstances, though, would Light have fired a shot from a distance? One of the experts has suggested a distance of perhaps 200 or 300 yards. A difficult shot with a rifle, nigh on impossible with a pistol. A Bisley gold medalist couldn't do it.
Well, so do you have an explanation?
There one enters the realm of fancy. There was, for instance, a dead crow lying near the body. Could a passing farmer perhaps have been out shooting crows and without seeing Bella taken a shot, missed the crow, but hit poor Bella and never even suspected he had taken a life?
I thought you said the crow was dead.
So it was.
But in your version, the farmer missed.
Yes, it was an unconsidered hypothesis. All right, the bullet grazed the crow fatally and then continued on its course to... The point is...
What kind of farmer would shoot crows with a .45 calibre rifle? Well, come to that, I'm not even sure there's such a thing as a 45 caliber rifle.
Yeah, I was wool gathering. If I was defending, that is perhaps a line of inquiry I might explore.
Yes.
I'm not saying it would be a particularly productive line of inquiry, but it might be enough to sow the seeds of doubt in the jury's mind and secure an acquittal.
Isn't withholding evidence a crime?
Yes, of course it is, but there's no substantive evidence to support my little theory.
You say you have the means to secure an acquittal.
I have nothing but idle conjecture.
That by your own admission could save a man from the gallows.
Yeah, there's no
and
more
yet,
to my...
defying conscience, decency and common humanity, you choose to keep these insights to yourself.
Henry. Yeah, perhaps we should speak of something else.
The beer man's here again.
Beer at home means Davenport's. That's what it says in his advertisements.
My clerk and I were discussing that matter earlier today. It's quite possible we know just the man you need. We have heard, gentlemen of the jury, the so frequent insistence that Captain Light is an officer and a gentleman. And yet, as we have heard in the testimony of Miss Muriel Nunney, this is a gentleman who importunes young women. This is a gentleman who approaches girls of 12 and 14. This is a gentleman who chases children, who alarms them with threats to their innocence. This is also a gentleman who lies persuasively and consistently. He repeatedly told the police that he was not the man on the green bicycle, that he had never met Bella Wright, that he had never owned a gun, and, have no doubt, would have stood up in this courtroom and under oath repeated those lies had not the last shred of plausibility already been torn from them.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Ah, as much as that.
Oh, just under. The relevant facts marshalled in clear and telling phrases. Beautifully delivered, too, if you don't mind me saying so, sir. You had the jury in the palm of your hand. But I was watching Light as well. He did it. I've watched all of them over the years. Sometimes you can see they're indignant, sometimes they cower, but there's something about the nature of the indignation or the cowering that tells you he was cowering. He did it. I don't know how he did it or why, but he did it. Jury knows it too. It's in the bag.
Mm-hmm. Sir Edward's closing remarks can be quite formidable.
No, he can spout and hammer all right, if he's got something to spout and hammer about. But he ain't got nothing to spout and hammer about, has he? He was posh, she was common. Turn that into an acquittal. Can't be done.
But now we come to the most fundamental question of all. What possible motive could have induced a man like Captain Light of the Honourable Artillery Company, a man who had served his king and country well, what possible motive could have induced him to murder this unfortunate creature? And yet it is by no means clear that any murder has been committed. A woman was shot and killed. We have seen in this courtroom the victim's cheekbone. We have seen the bullet hole. Small. Hardly big enough to accommodate a pencil. Neat. The weapon Captain Light is accused of using is a service revolver, a .455 caliber Webley. Some of you gentlemen of the jury who have seen military service will perhaps have had first-hand experience of wounds from such a weapon. At close range, at medium range, the bullet shatters. The bullet tears. It has been suggested that for such a bullet fired from such a weapon to have made such a wound, it must have been fired from a distance of 200 or 300 yards. Are we to believe that he then withdrew to a distance of some 200 or 300 yards before pulling the trigger? And even if we were willingly to suspend disbelief to the point of lunacy, is it possible that this man, that any man, could have fired a pistol with such extraordinary accuracy at twilight? Captain Light's military achievements, though considerable, do not encompass his winning a gold medal at Bisley. I have been given information that a dead crow was found near the body. Is it not just as likely, more likely, that after Captain Light had long ridden away from the scene, a passing farmer, or perhaps a child with a rook rifle, unable to see poor Bella Wright riding her bicycle, concealed by a hedge, took a pot shot at a crow?
It is better that 10 guilty persons escape than one innocent suffer, but it don't have stick in the craw when it happens, doesn't it? What do you say his name was?
Henry Graham.
Did he speak directly with Sir Edward or send him a letter?
I have no idea.
But you're sure it was him?
The only people who heard my little crow fantasy were Mr. Cadbury and Mr. Graham. And Mr. Cadbury will give up his factory and his fortune before showing ill manners to a guest.
So, Henry Graham wanted to put you down a peg. I'm sorry to be so blunt, sir, because you stole his girl.
No, Edgar. It was a matter of conscience. I gave him an opportunity to save a man from the gallows.
A guilty man?
He had no choice but to take it. It's a fundamental precept of his beliefs.
Like not killing Germans?
Essentially.
Oh, well, you've certainly nothing to reproach yourself with, sir. When it comes down to it, you ran the prosecution and the defence. Well, your defence won the day, and you saved a man from the gallows. It's quite a triumph, really.
A triumph?
Oh, I got hold of Fieldhouse, by the way. The little spat between Mr. Cadbury and Mr. Davenport.
Ah, Fieldhouse on trespass. He's still alive.
Got a letter back before I left the hotel this morning. Very much alive.
Not gaga?
Very spry by the sound of things.
And have you put him in touch with Mr. Cadbury?
Oh.
What is it?
Must have got the wrong end of the stick. I put him in touch with Mr. Davenport, see?
That was very wrong of you, Edgar. I thought you were as keen on temperance as Mr. Cadbury.
Oh, I am, sir. Strong drink leads a man into temptation and is the spur that drives into sin. But see, cocoa is the sin itself.
One week only away from home. Linnea's colic is all cleared up. Your beloved Mr. Cadbury is in fine health. And nobody got hanged. Yeah, this is good.
Yes. Billy?
Yes?
This chap, this Henry Graham, when you and I were at Cadbury's, do you remember him at all?
Graham?
Henry Graham.
Old man with a beard like a spade and a twisted spine.
No, this is a youngish chap, athletic build, square jaw.
Henry Graham? No.
That is the right answer.
Cox, Adam Billington. The judge, Gerard McDermott. And Muriel was Francine Chamberlain. The director was Mark Beebe.
Alfred!
Turn back after the next bridge!
I'm drowning!
What?
My shoes are full of water!
You should have worn the boots!
I should have gone to Scarborough.
Did you see that?
Oh, what?
Come down here! I think it's an otter.
There's otters?
You see?
Where?
There. Under the bridge. I saw something move.
Where?
I think we might have scared him off.
How do you know it was an otter anyway? It might just have...
Stay where you are. No, stay back. We'd better get the police. Come away.
Birkett and the Red Stains on the Carpet by Caroline and David Stafford, with Neil Dudgeon as Norman Birkett and Saga Aria as Buck Ruxton.
Yes, of course, it's foolish.
Ludicrous.
I already said as much.
Who is William Hickey?
The chap in the Daily Express.
Have we been introduced?
I think it's a pseudonym. He didn't make the selection himself, anyway.
Public personalities our readers most like reading about.
People wrote in.
Like an election.
Sort of.
Which, in this case, Signor Mussolini seems to have won.
People like reading about him. Not the same thing as wanting him for their Duce.
Greta Garbo is more popular than you.
Not as good looking, though.
Bernard Shaw is more popular than you. Gracie Fields is more popular than you. And you are at number 20 level, pegging with the Aga Khan.
Sir Bernard Spilsbury, I noticed, is number 25.
Next year, his people will present him with his own weight in gold.
An honour rarely accorded to Home Office pathologists.
The Aga Khan. What is it they all possess which attracts this searchlight of public interest? Is it the ability they have in the jobs they perform, or is it because besides doing whatever they choose to do well, they do it slightly differently from the others? There is a little bit of colour about them and the way they do things.
5 places above Spilsbury.
4 places?
No, 4 places.
You once told me you were incapable of bearing a grudge.
I don't bear him a grudge.
The Mancini case was more than a year ago.
It was a professional difference of opinion.
You were very angry.
Wait, he had the gall to produce a fragment of the victim's skull. 3 days into the trial, no warning he was going to use it as significant evidence, he produced this piece of bone and insisted that the depressed fracture could only have been produced by the small end of a hammer, when it was plain as a pikestaff that any one of a number of accidental causes could have caused a fracture exactly like it. And that is just the sort of so-called expert testimony that muddies the waters, making a complete and absolute travesty of the entire judicial process. This constant insistence on scientific authority, fingerprints and blood spatters and ballistics, and none of it's ever as certain as they like to pretend, but they'll stand on their hind legs and perjure themselves to perdition before they'll admit a scintilla of doubt. He was never a good pourer, anyway.
Well, now, this is a case addressed the shop window just up your street, if you don't mind me saying, sir.
Pass it over.
Well-respected doctor.
The Indian doctor with the improbable name.
Buck Ruxton.
That's right, Buck Ruxton. I read about it over breakfast. Called him the Indian with the cowboy's name.
The Times said that.
The Express.
Oh, yes, of course. Number 20. Congratulations.
Do you think so?
It's nice to be noticed.
Demeans the dignity of the profession.
It's a moot point. But people like having heroes, don't they? Better a decent lawyer for a hero than a murderer or a dictator.
Go on, anyway. Half-Indian doctor with a cowboy name in Lancaster, was it?
In Lancaster. Well-respected doctor, flighty wife. Charge is that he found his wife was doing the dirty on him, so he stabs her and cuts her up. And then his maid comes in, catches him at it, so he stabs her and cuts her up too. Then he reported them missing. Brother and sister, on a rambling holiday in Dumfriesshire, find body parts under a bridge by a little stream.
68 separate body parts, all by the stream?
Scattered all over. It's listed there. The police brought in the Boy Scouts to help do the search. At first they thought they got a man and a woman because they'd only found one uterus. But then the third breast turned up, making it more likely they had 2 women.
They brought in Boy Scouts to help with this?
That's right.
Is there a badge of some sort?
I suppose there'd be a certain amount of map reading.
Observational skills and so forth. What? Good Lord.
You've come to the Cyclops Eye.
Cyclops Eye?
A Cyclops Eye. I looked it up.
In Homer?
Black's Medical Dictionary. It's a form of maldevelopment. Rare in humans, more common in pigs, where the 2 eyes are fused together in the middle of the forehead. Often it's accompanied by other malformations so severe the creature almost invariably expires a few hours after birth.
But they're sure that this particular eye belonged to a human.
They can't say.
Yet somehow the police have associated these various body parts, some of women, some possibly of pigs, found in Scotland, with the missing wife and maid of a much-respected doctor in Lancaster.
Yes.
And what brought them to this conclusion?
Hard to say. The skulls have been scalped, there's been teeth removed, and the fingertips have been sliced away.
So what, was the doctor's wife a cyclops?
No.
Did he keep one-eyed pigs?
Some of the body parts were wrapped in a copy of the Sunday Graphic, which contained pictures of the Morecambe Carnival, establishing that it was the Morecambe and Lancaster edition of the paper.
And on the strength of this, they made an arrest?
They also found bloodstains at the doctor's house.
He's a doctor. Patients bleed.
Quite extensive bloodstains.
Perhaps he's a clumsy doctor. Does he have an explanation?
He says... It's all there, sir. He says he cut himself on a tin of peaches.
And is there any indication he may be lying?
None at all. And there is a scar on his hand. Quite livid.
Anything else?
The prosecution does seem to have summoned quite a weight of scientific and medical evidence.
Spilsbury.
Professor John Glaister.
Spilsbury's terrier. I shall enjoy this.
Good morning, Dr. Russell. My name's Edgar Bowker, and this is Mr. Birkett, who will be defending you in court.
It's an honour, Mr. Birkett. This morning I was reading of your very great triumphs in the Daily Express.
Oh, oh dear.
You should be proud, Mr. Birkett. Popular acclaim is not to be despised.
Agreed, but perhaps it feels a little uncomfortable to have one's name even incidentally associated with that of Signor Mussolini.
Sit down, please. I'm sorry, Mr. Bowker, there doesn't seem to be a chair.
Oh, I'm fine.
Did they offer you tea?
No, they don't do that.
You know, I must warn you, Mr. Birkett. Before this very unfortunate business brought me such horrible notoriety, I too enjoyed a certain modest celebrity in my hometown. The perfectly humdrum application of my medical knowledge effected cures which, in a town that historically has found itself somewhat beyond the purview of the latest scientific research, must have seemed like miracles. Being regarded as a miracle worker can turn the head somewhat, Mr. Birkett. It takes a certain mental discipline and self-knowledge to battle such immodesty, both virtues which I am sure you possess in full measure.
Oh, well, I think you might have to take issue with my wife on that matter, not to mention my clerk.
Oh, not at all, Mr. Birkett, not at all.
Now, Dr. Ruxton, I wonder if you'd mind if I made rather an abrupt observation. Not to put too fine a point on it, your general demeanour, to my eye, is not that of a man who has suffered a recent and monstrous bereavement, nor that of a man on trial for his life.
First of all, you are mistaken in believing I have suffered a bereavement, Mr. Birkett. I have read the reports of the forensic pathologists, and there is barely anything in them to suggest, much less prove, that the remains found in Scotland are those of my wife and maid. My wife and maid are alive. I don't know where they are at present residing, but I have absolutely no reason to suppose them dead. And as to your second point, how could I possibly be on trial for my life when I'm an innocent man? When my prosecutors have no evidence to suggest otherwise, and when my defence is the great Norman Birkett. Could I see your hand, Mr. Bowker?
What? Oh, it's nothing. Doctor says it's a bit of psoriasis.
Does the house in which you live have perhaps a porch or a front garden planted with shrubs?
Well, I don't have a house of my own. I'm in digs in Clapham. Very nice digs with Mr. and Mrs. Wigan, but the house has got a porch, yes.
And is the porch fringed delightfully with ivy?
Yes.
And is the ivy a little overgrown, and does it tickle your hand each morning as you leave the house?
Oh, you think that could be the problem?
Your chemist can make this up for you. It's an ointment to reduce the swelling. Meanwhile, wearing thick gloves, cut back the ivy around your porch.
Oh, thank you. It's not psoriasis, then?
Not in the slightest. Your doctor was mistaken.
Excellent. If we could...
My incarceration in this cell came about as a result of bad science, Mr. Birkett. The good scientist observes, evolves a theory based on observation, devises a series of repeatable experiments to test the theory, and only when it is rigorously tested does he hesitantly venture to describe his theory as fact. Inspector Morrison of the Lancashire Constabulary came up with the theory that these remains were those of my wife and maid and that I was their murderer. And when the facts failed to fit his theory, rather than questioning the theory, he simply gathered more facts and wove them into ever more intricate cathedrals of conjecture.
But the fact remains that your wife is missing.
My wife is an extraordinarily beautiful woman, and was never blessed with the ability to remain steadfast in the face of the barrage of compliments and opportunities that came her way. But I am sure she is alive, Mr. Birkett, and has gone abroad, perhaps with a lover, taking her maid with her. I am as certain of this as Inspector Morrison is certain that those were her remains found in Scotland. But I can establish no more proof of my assumption than he of his. So here I sit, unscientifically.
Sir Bernard Spilsbury and Professor Glaister
are very bad scientists who present conjecture as fact.
I think what Dr. Ruxton is suggesting, Edgar, is that we have a great deal of work to do.
I am then to be a law widow.
I am afraid so. For a short time. It is, I think, quite unprecedented. Jackson's prosecuting, and he's called 113 witnesses, mostly, it appears, char-ladies, and producing 209 separate pieces of evidence.
They have a strong case.
No, they have no case at all, but still each witness must be questioned, each tedious piece of evidence discredited. His wife's adultery provides a convincing motive, but really they have nothing else at all. But they do have such an awful lot of nothing.
Trifles light as air are to the jealous confirmation strong as proofs of holy writs.
He's a half-Indian doctor married to a Scotswoman. The last thing we want at the moment is to conjure the image of Othello in the minds of the jury.
But you won't be going up there before Wednesday?
Wednesday?
The benefit lunch for Arthur Kirkwall.
Oh, hell, is that on Wednesday? No, I'm afraid I'm doing the other thing on Wednesday.
What other thing?
The Daily Express thing.
Which Daily Express thing?
The Daily Express has invited me to a luncheon at the Savoy with some of the other people in the thing.
With Signor Mussolini and the Aga Khan?
With George Bernard Shaw and Gracie Fields.
And why have you not mentioned this?
I may have been trying to pretend it wasn't going to happen.
And then off you go to Manchester to rob the gallows of its prey.
What have you been reading?
Nothing.
Your conversation has become empurpled.
No, you're hardly late at all. Mr. Shaw and Miss Fields have just popped outside with the photographer for a few minutes.
Oh, should I...
No, you're all right.
So, correct me if I've misunderstood, Mr. Bennett. You are the gentleman who writes under the name of William Hickey.
Nothing nearly so grand. I'm one of the great army of nobodies, Mr. Birkett. William Hickey is written by Mr. Dryburgh, only he was unfortunately detained on account of being... I don't mind telling you because you're a legal man. He's been apprehended for importuning young men.
Oh dear. Is there anything I can do to help?
No. Nice of you to offer, but he's quite particular about them being young. And here's Mr. Shaw and Miss Fields. I'd like you to meet Mr. Birkett.
Mr. Birkett?
How do?
Mr. Shaw, Miss Fields.
Gracie, call me Gracie. Miss Fields is what I do if I spend too much time in Rochdale.
That is priceless. I can see you and I are going to get on like a house on fire, Gracie.
Aren't we having the time of our lives?
I hear you're from Ulverston, Mr. Birkett.
Oh, that's right.
You ever run into Stan Laurel? He's from up that way, isn't he?
He is indeed. I'm a little bit older, of course, but my parents knew his Granny Metcalf very well indeed.
Laurel and Hardy are priceless.
Oh, we had great times when I were in Hollywood.
Oh, you've been in Hollywood?
They wanted me to make some films out there, but I couldn't be doing with all that.
Oh, nor I.
They want your heart, soul, lungs, liver and lights. Tried to sew me into a contract size of an house brick. Said I'm not signing that. They said you are. I said I signed that, and first thing you changed my name to Dolores Oogie Farnsworth and have me dancing Oochie Coo with Boris Karloff. And off they went with their nattering, rabbiting on and on and on. I said, if you can't keep it short, you're jipping me. And of course they couldn't keep it short, of course they couldn't. So I was on the first train out of there, Ile de France over the ocean blue, and here I am, ready for outing, sticking for nout. Oh, is that Anthony Eden over there? I best go and have a word, or there'll be hell to pay if I don't. Back soon.
Great girl, that.
Great girl.
So, you're a King's Counsel, Mr. Birkett.
I am indeed, Mr. Shaw.
And isn't it a sign of the times that a man of the law such as yourself can enjoy the fame of a film star like our Gracie, or of a literary giant such as myself?
A good sign or a bad sign?
A sign that the nation's conscience is withering away. If everybody was blessed with a rigorous conscience, every crime would have its confession and we'd have no need of lawyers. So, when lawyers grow famous, conscience must be very sick indeed. Do you read a lot of Nietzsche, Mr. Birkett?
Nietzsche.
What?
I think it's pronounced Nietzsche.
So it is if you're a German. I'm decent Irish. Nietzsche would describe the very existence of conscience as evidence of the slave morality. The higher man, the superman, has no regard for conscience or convention.
In which case, may God preserve us from the higher man.
And neither does he have any regard for God. What became of our Gracie? She's surely not left us for good.
No, she's over there talking to the gentleman at the piano.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, Lord, she's going to sing.
It's called photographic superimposure.
Yes?
They take a photograph of the skull and place it over a photograph of the victim's head to see if the one corresponds to the other.
And this is supposed to be foolproof?
Well, they're making great claims.
So, if in court I were to take a photograph of Sir Bernard Spilsbury, for example, and superimpose it over the skull of a braying ass, this will be accepted as incontrovertible proof of the point I've been making for the past 5 years.
Oh, I had a word with Grantham at the Royal College of Surgeons. He reckons the mutilation would have taken 5 hours at least.
The whole procedure?
Scalping them, the facial mutilations, poking their eyes out, slicing their fingers and toes up. Oh, sorry. And the extracting of the teeth. And the whole while he's got his 3 children asleep in the next room.
Unless the dissection were performed elsewhere.
No, even Glaister acknowledges the dissection had to be done within an hour or so of death.
So either he did it there with the children asleep in the next room and the possibility, say, of an emergency patient turning up at his door at any moment,
or they're barking up the wrong tree. He's a civilized man, an intelligent man. You only have to look at him, talk to him.
And yet an adulterous wife, in the heat of the moment.
You talk to anybody in that town, they'll tell you his wife gives him the runaround, but he had the patience of a saint. He was more of a father to her than a husband, looked after her. A thing like this, it's not in his nature.
There's no shortage of educated murderers gone to the gallows.
It's got nothing to do with education. I've sat with murderers who had PhDs from Oxford and Cambridge and a string of letters after their names, but you look in their eyes, you talk to them, don't you? And you know there's something missing. Buck Ruxton's all there. A man of sympathy, a man of understanding, a man of conscience. Do you think he did it?
The prosecution case leaks like a colander.
Of course.
My name is Dr. John Glaister. I am the Regius Professor of Forensic Medicine at the University of Glasgow. On the 1st of October 1935, I visited Garden Home Lynn near Moffat, where I collected certain human remains that I subsequently removed to the Department of Anatomy at the University of Edinburgh.
I am distributing amongst the members of the jury exhibits 135 to 172, photographs of the remains.
Exhibit 135 shows clearly the extent to which the tissue has been removed from the face. It can be seen that the eyes have been removed, the tissues of the nose, the skin of the face, and also 2 central teeth. Beyond prevention of identification, there is one other possible reason for these removals. The portions removed here are parts of the body which might bear signs of asphyxia if death had been so produced. There is no appearance of beard hairs on the face. Exhibit 137 deals with the legs of what we believe to be the same body. A number of vessels were dissected out and their interior examined without disclosing the presence of blood. This meant that blood had been drained entirely from the body after death, and in my view, gives an indication of a relatively short interval of time between death and mutilation. Without commitment, I would say within a few hours of death.
So, to clarify, your view is that the blood was drained from the bodies within a few hours of death, and the bodies must have been disarticulated within a few hours of that.
That is my view.
And would you say this work was performed by a man of medical knowledge?
My lord! The mutilation, such as I have seen, I consider would demand some definite anatomical knowledge.
On examination of the left big toe in body 2, were you able to come to any conclusion?
I examined the X-ray photographs taken by Dr. Godfrey, and am of the opinion that there were certain bone changes there, and such bone changes are frequently accompanied by a condition called a bunion.
A bunion?
Yeah, the joint of the big toe, as can be observed on photograph of exhibit 142, has been removed. The skin and the underlying tissue have been removed down to the bone, exposing the joint cavity between the ball of the great toe and the first metatarsal.
In an attempt to disguise the fact that in life, the unfortunate woman suffered from a bunion?
Possibly.
Did you make a cast of the left foot of each of these bodies?
Well, they were made under my supervision.
After they were made, that is, exhibits 212 and 213, did you attempt to fit them into certain shoes?
Exhibit 212. The plaster cast of the foot of the second body, if I may demonstrate, fits into this shoe.
This shoe being exhibit 84, the shoe previously identified by Mrs. Oxley as belonging to Mrs. Ruxton. Can we move on now to a photograph of Mrs. Ruxton marked A, exhibit 172? Did you put certain lines on it?
I did. This photograph of Mrs. Ruxton was enlarged to, as near as we could judge, life size. And then I superimposed a photograph of the skull of body number 2 on top, orienting the position as best I could.
And what does this demonstrate?
It demonstrates, in my opinion, that skull number 2 might be the skull of Mrs. Ruxton. I cannot go further than that.
And then we come to the age of the deceased. If you would be so good as to remind the court of your findings in that respect for body number 2?
Somewhere between 35 and 55 years.
Somewhere between 35 and 55 years. But you are able to be far more specific about the shoe size. I wonder if, again, you would be so kind as to remind the court.
Size 5.
Established by your touching impersonation of the handsome prince in the tale of Cinderella.
My lord!
I beg the court's indulgence. Another simple question. I wonder how many other women in the country wear size 5 shoes?
I don't have that information.
An estimate, then?
I wouldn't hazard a guess.
I'm not asking for a professional opinion, just a layman's guess. More than 1 million? Less than 5? I wonder, what size does the average shoe shop stock in the greatest abundance?
These are not questions I'm qualified to answer.
A glance in my local branch of Freeman, Hardy and Willis convinced me that there's a ready market for the size 5. They are a popular line. Let me summarise, then, for my own benefit. The remains belong, you say, to a woman of indeterminate age, size 5 shoes, who may or may not have had a bunion. A description that perfectly fits Isabella Ruxton, perhaps, and which, coincidentally, might also fit Miss Amy Johnson, Miss Helen Wills Moody, Miss Anna Neagle, Mrs. Eleanor Roosevelt, and several million others. So perhaps you would illuminate the court on the exact characteristics that cause you to believe that the deceased is indeed Isabella Ruxton and not Mrs. Eleanor Roosevelt.
My lord, if Mr. Birkett will persist...
Once again, my humble apologies, my lord. I know better. Now, if we could return for a moment to the mystery of the Cyclops' eye.
Oh, one of the court clerks was telling me they haven't had such entertainment round here since the day Heaton Hall got struck by lightning.
Now, there is a limit, though, to the variety of techniques one can employ when shooting fish in a barrel. I'd say that after the 50th or 60th witness, boredom will begin to set in. Singleton was asleep 2 minutes into the last cross-examination, and when the judge is asleep, the jury at least falls to daydreaming.
Is that in our favour, though, or theirs?
Well, theirs, of course. A bored jury is a gift for the prosecution. Up pops a new witness. They're all ears for a moment. The witness makes a few unwarranted assertions. They'll remember those all right. But by the time I come along to challenge those assertions, they're off on their own private islands, ruling the world and winning the pools. Mr. Jenkins is grinding the jury down with sheer tedium, I'm afraid, and there's little we can do to stop him.
My name is Mary Hampshire, and I've been one of Dr. Ruxton's patients 5 years.
In your own words, Mrs. Hampshire, I wonder if you could describe the events that passed between yourself and Dr. Ruxton on the 15th of September of last year.
He called at me house to ask me whether I'd go and help him tidy his staircase up, as he'd had to pull up the carpets ready for the decorators coming in morning, and he needed help with the cleaning. He couldn't do it himself, he said, as he had cut his hand open in a tin of peaches.
Did you ask where Mrs. Ruxton was?
Yeah, he said she were in Blackpool.
When you got into the hall, what did you notice with regard to the stairs?
I noticed they were in a very dirty condition. There was straw right up to the top stairs. The doctor showed me how to get hot water from the geyser.
In the bathroom, what was the condition of the bath?
Well, it were a very dirty yellow, right up to about 6 inches from top. I give the bath a good scrub with hot water and vim, only I couldn't get the stains off.
Did you notice the other bedrooms at the top of the stairs?
They were locked. I looked for the key as I wanted to get the bits of straw that were sticking from under the doors when I was sweeping up.
Did you go into the yard?
Yeah. The carpets were there. 2 landing carpets and some stair carpets.
Was there anything about these carpets?
Well, they were stained. One in particular was stained with blood. There were also some blood-stained towels and a shirt half-burnt. One carpet were not so bad, just one blood stain, but the other were terrible. I laid it in the yard and threw about 20 or 30 buckets of water on it to try and wash it, but the colour of the water that ran off it were like blood. I had to go at it with a yard brush and water, and I still couldn't get the congealed blood off.
And the hand the doctor had cut on the tin of peaches. Could you describe the state of the hand?
It were all bandaged up. There was still blood seeping through the bandages.
And how would you assess Dr. Ruxton's general state of health?
Oh, he were poorly, all right. Weak as a kitten. I said how ill he looked, and he said it were on account of the pain in his hand.
Given the appearance of the hand and the doctor's general state of health, could you perhaps estimate the amount of blood he might have lost as a result of his wound?
I wouldn't know that.
What was the doctor's usual appearance and dress?
Oh, he were extremely smart, always.
And on this particular day?
He hadn't shaved. He hadn't got a collar and tie on. I'd never seen him in such a state.
In your statement, Mrs. Hampshire, you say that the prisoner told you on Monday that his wife had gone to London. He had previously told you that she had gone to Blackpool. Did this surprise you?
I said to him, I think you're telling me lies, Doctor. He were ever so upset. He said he thought that his wife had gone away with a man. He didn't want anybody to know because of the shame. He were worried about the children.
Where were the children at this time?
Well, they were staying with a friend. He cried. He laid his head down and he cried. Oh, he were in a terrible way. He's a good man. He's always been a good man.
Red stains on the carpet, red stains on the knife. Oh, Dr. Bob Roxton, you murdered your wife. Then Mary, she saw you, you thought she would tell. So Dr. Bob Roxton, you killed her as well.
It's only another 15 to go. When we start on the defence witnesses, it'll be downhill all the way, you'll see.
I feel as if I've done 12 rounds with Max Schmeling.
It's going ever so well, though.
Mr. Birkett!
Mrs. Hampshire!
I'm sorry. Is this all right? speaking to you outside courtroom. Only I thought now I'd finish me bit.
It would depend on what...
No, that's fine.
There was something I wanted to ask you.
Of course.
It was something I read in paper.
About the case?
No, nothing to do with that. No, it said in paper about how you met our Gracie. And what I wanted to ask is, in person, is she really like she is in films?
She is a charming and genuine lady, Mrs. Hampshire.
Oh, I'm ever so glad. You wait till I tell our Lil. I think Gracie is wonderful, Mr. Birkett.
So do I, Mrs. Hampshire.
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't keep you.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, I think that's my tram. Oh, thanks.
Bugger.
Edgar.
I got myself all set, sir. I thought Mrs. Hampshire was going to spill the beans with some mighty revelation that gave us a rock-solid defence.
And so she has, Edgar. So she has. I want you to stand down, all our witnesses.
47? Some of them are already on the tree.
Stand them down. Send them home.
I don't know. What does that leave us with, sir?
What should have been the foundation of our defence all along has twice now been handed to me on a plate, and I was too dim to notice. Let me tell you one of the fundamental rules of advocacy.
From your professor of jurisprudence at Cambridge?
From Miss Gracie Fields. The prosecution is nattering, Edgar. They can't keep it short. And why can't they keep it short? The jury must be left in no doubt at all on this point. They can't keep it short because they are jipping us. All they have is smoke screens, wool to pull over our eyes. The worst mistake we could make is to answer their nattering with more nattering. Edgar, do you think Dr. Ruxton committed this crime?
No, I said all along he couldn't have done.
And why could he not have committed this crime?
Well, you only have to look at him, don't you? Talk to him.
And if you, a man of perspicacity and insight, are so utterly convinced of this man's innocence, then a jury, if astutely guided, will have no choice but to concur. There is our defence, Edgar. No more nattering, no more expert witnesses, no more apodiactics. We will make argumentum ad hominem for once a case for virtue. Stand Ruxton up in court and say, ecce homo.
Is that how Gracie said it?
While opening a tin of peaches, I impaled my hand on the spike of the tin opener. The reflex action to move away from the source of the pain caused a further slicing injury from the jagged lid of the tin itself.
In order to avoid having to take up the court's time by calling it another expert medical witness, perhaps you yourself could explain, Dr. Ruxton, the effect of such an injury.
I had severed the radial artery, which, a characteristic of all arterial wounds, caused an immediate pulsing of blood. I used my right hand to apply pressure to stem the flow and made my way upstairs to the bathroom where I knew I would find what was needed to apply a tourniquet and wash the wound.
Is your surgery not in the house?
I keep my surgery locked. Extracting the key from my pocket and unlocking a door under the circumstances I knew was quite out of the question.
I understand. Please, go on.
On the stairs I tripped and fell. I lost my grip with the right hand. The wound began again to bleed copiously. I may have lost consciousness for a moment.
And how much blood would you estimate did you lose?
It would be impossible to be exact, but from my subsequent weakness and other indicators, it must have been a considerable amount.
Enough to make considerable red stains on the carpet. Dr. Ruxton, if we could for a moment trespass on more intimate matters, we have heard from many witnesses that your marriage was not always happy. Would you care to add anything to their exhaustive testimony?
I can say honestly that Belle and I were the kind of people who, to use an expression, could not live with each other and could not live without each other. Qui aime bien, châtie bien.
I wonder, for the benefit of the court...
It is a French proverb. Who loves most chastises most. I found fault with my wife, but no more than she with me, or any man with any wife who evokes in him the instinct to nurture as well as a grand and glorious passion. My Bella possessed a willful personality, but at her core, it wasn't difficult to discern an awful fragility.
You say in your statement, Dr. Ruxton, that your wife was not always faithful.
It was an aspect, a symptom, one might call it, of her fragility that from time to time she sought reassurance outside the marriage.
During the course of your marriage, how frequently had this occurred?
Twice, to my knowledge. Perhaps more.
And each time, how did you respond?
I experienced an overwhelming anguish, Mr. Birkett. A great anguish. And black melancholy. And anger.
Anger with your wife?
Oh, no, not with her. For the third party in the matter, I often felt anger. I felt anger with myself for my failure, perhaps, to be the husband well deserved. I felt anger with her sadness, with her fragility, but not with her. I am a doctor, Mr. Birkett. I can hate the disease, but I am tireless in my care for the patient.
Oh, it's absolutely first class.
You see, one man speaking, with clear eye and strong voice, the simple, unvarnished truth will carry a jury more surely than 1,000 scientists, or, come to that, 10,000 barristers.
You mustn't undervalue your own contribution, Mr. Birkett. The police interrogators had such skill twisting my words that I had begun to doubt I even knew what the truth is. But when I speak to you, I feel I'm walking in bright sunlight.
One more day in the box, perhaps just a morning, and you will be.
I wouldn't be surprised if Singleton didn't throw the whole thing out of court first thing tomorrow. Even with all their photographic superimposures, they've still come up with nothing to prove the bodies are your wife and maid.
Because they are not.
Now, tomorrow, I'd like to make much of the fact that given the so-called evidence of the carpets and so forth, not one of your servants or patients called by the prosecution, not Mrs. Oxley, Mrs. Hampshire, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Kerwin, thought at the time there was a single suspicious circumstance. And why is this? Because you are an honourable man, a good man, a doctor who commands great respect, a man whose nature could never countenance such a monstrous crime. A man of conscience.
Yes. Conscience.
All we're asking of you, Dr. Ruxton, is that tomorrow, just as you did today, you stand in that box and tell the simple, unvarnished truth.
The truth.
Now, a number of witnesses called by the prosecution have told us that they found you burning items of clothing, towels, and so on in your backyard. Dr. Ruxton.
This is customary. Every medical practitioner will have cause to dispose of soiled dressings and so on. Burning is the surest way to avoid cross-infection. On the particular week in question, the usual refuse was augmented by the towels and items of clothing soiled by my own injury.
But you made no attempt to burn the carpets?
I burnt some pieces, but asked Mrs. Hampshire whether she wanted the rest.
Mrs. Hampshire said she tried to clean the blood off the carpet in the yard.
She said she threw 30 buckets of water on it.
Indeed.
I would like to know how much blood that would be, and why did she count 30 buckets? But does it follow as a matter of reason? 30 buckets of water, and the water just like blood? For heaven's sake, ask yourself, exaggerating things and making mountains out of a molehill. Did she count, may I ask, 30 buckets? It's a fantastic story of a female mind.
I understand you're under great strain, Dr. Ruxton, but if I could take you back...
Your duty as a court is to do justice and not put a man to the gallows for nothing. Everyone is against me.
Dr. Ruxton, with regard to the
I am
burning
on
of the
trial for my life. I have 3 little mites at home. I have never, ever done anything wrong to anybody who did not deserve it. It is all an exaggeration.
Could you tell us about the suit which you gave away to Mrs. Hampshire for her husband?
May I say one word?
If you could listen to the question, Dr. Ruxton.
Does my learned friend know anything about the life of a medical man? About the everyday decisions concerning life and death?
Just attend to me for a minute.
It is a disgrace. It is a reflection on my professional capabilities.
Can you not see how I am feeling?
Dr. Ruxton.
Everyone is cornering me and trying to just get me into a corner about my bell. About what I did to my bell.
Here it is. Front page of the News of the World. I killed Mrs. Ruxton in a fit of temper because I thought she had been with a man. I was mad at the time. Mary Rogerson was present. I had to kill her.
Remarkable.
You were so sure?
Yes. What vexes me most is that the papers are presenting the whole thing as a triumph of forensic pathology. The conviction had nothing to do with forensic pathology. He practically confessed in the witness box. He could have walked free. The prosecution case was a nonsense. There was not a spot of blood in his car. There was nothing to place him in Scotland. He stood in that witness box, steady and true and calm, until his conscience got the better of him. If it's a triumph of anything, it's a triumph of the human conscience. And now the law, quite without conscience, has hanged him.
He did kill and mutilate his wife and maid.
He would never have killed again, though, and if he had walked free, he would have gone back to his practice and saved hundreds of lives. In a world where conscience is sick, he was a man of conscience.
What should we do with the fish knives?
Oh, yes, I've been giving it some thought.
He wanted to give you a gift, I suppose, for the trouble he put you to in court. Like the Jeroboam of champagne that Eriksson sent you.
Yes, except Eriksson was acquitted. I've never known it from a hanged man before.
Conscience again. He lied to you. Another little act of atonement.
Yes.
We do already have a set of fish knives. And I think perhaps my Dover sole would taste odd if I were to use a knife given to us by a man who cut his wife up into little pieces.
Yes. I'll give them to Edgar.
In Birkett and the Red Stains on the Carpet by Caroline and David Stafford, Norman Birkett was played by Neil Dudgeon, Buck Ruxton by Saga Aria, Edgar, Alan Raglan, and Billy by Bonnie Engstrom. Glaister was James Lely, Jackson, Adam Billington, Mary, Alex Rivers, Gracie Fields, Victoria Inez Hardy, Bernard Shaw, Gerard McDermott, Bennett, Ricky Lawton, and Alfred was Christopher Webster. The director was Mark Beebe.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Good evening.
Can I help you, madam?
Sir Edward Marshall Hall?
No, I'm afraid... Well, you see, normally we don't receive visitors after 9 o'clock, especially visitors who just let themselves in the front door.
It is of the utmost urgency that I speak to Sir Edward Marshall Hall.
Well, I'm ever so sorry, but Sir Edward isn't here. Mrs...
I am Almina, Countess of Carnarvon.
Oh, please, sit down. Let me, you see, I'm Edgar Bowker, I'm the clerk, you see, there's nobody else here.
Well, I'm sure Sir Edward would have no objection if you were to telephone him.
No, he's in Manchester.
I must see him. I was told he is the best. He is the best.
Oh, he is the best, yes, only he's in Manchester.
Then he must return from Manchester. Shall I send a train?
I could send him a telegram, if you could give me some indication as to the nature of the matter in question.
Mr. Beaker,
Bowker.
My husband is being blackmailed, and I do not use that word lightly. My husband is being blackmailed by his unscrupulous whore of an ex-wife.
Birkett and the Naked Toreador by Caroline and David Stafford, with Neil Dudgeon as Norman Birkett and Nicholas Jones as Sir Edward Marshall Hall.
Her husband's being blackmailed. My Debrett's isn't up to scratch, I'm afraid, Edgar. Now, are there two Countesses of Carnarvon?
Just the one.
And she's married to the Lord Carnarvon
who discovered Tutankhamun's tomb.
And he's being blackmailed?
No, he died.
Of course he did. Mosquito bite.
The mummy's curse.
So this is posthumous blackmail?
No, it's not him being blackmailed. She's got a new husband now.
Has she?
Mm-hmm. Just 6 months after Tut took the first. Register office.
Unseemly haste. Is she, was she...
She's not exactly a chit of a thing.
No?
Late 40s, I'd say. Being charitable.
And the new husband?
Oh, Colonel Dennistoun's a good bit younger.
Yeah. And have you been able to get in touch with Sir Edward?
He's on the 225 from Manchester Piccadilly. I said I'd meet him at Euston. So what I said to Lady Carnarvon was...
You said I'd see her first thing in the morning, and here she is now. Lady Carnarvon, Norman Birkett at your service, ma'am. Please, take a seat.
It's not blackmail, then?
Dorothy Denniston...
The plaintiff?
...was once married to Lady Carnarvon's new husband, Lieutenant Colonel Denniston. Rocky married from the start.
Infidelity?
Not off.
Her or him?
Oh, her, definitely. Him, not so sure.
Yes, go on.
Dorothy was having this affair with General Sir John Cowan.
No, I know that name.
Yeah, he was Quartermaster General during the war.
Of course he was. Jack Cowans, good lord. The old dog.
Anyway, then Dennistons got divorced.
But Jack Cowans is co-respondent. Surely one would have heard.
They were divorced in France.
Ah.
Now, General Cowans was a very close friend of Lord and Lady Carnarvon, so after the divorce, they sort of took Dorothy in. She lived with them. They looked after her, even more so after the General died.
Where was the ex-husband living?
Oh, Colonel Denniston was living in Paris. Anyway, one summer, a few years ago, Lady Carnarvon was travelling to the south of France, so Dorothy asked if, while she was passing through Paris, she could pop in to see the ex-husband to pick up some keepsakes or something, and one thing led to another.
Between Lady Carnarvon and this Dennistoun chap?
Exactly.
Was this while Lord Carnarvon was still alive?
Oh, yes.
Well, Lux! Oh, drinks now, I think. Yes? So Congress takes place in Paris.
And Lady Carnarvon and Colonel Denniston become lovers. And not long after, Lord Carnarvon falls victim to the curse of Tutankhamun.
Oh, it's like Rider Haggard and Eleanor Glynn all wrapped in ermine.
Leaving Lady Carnarvon free to marry Colonel Denniston and Dorothy.
Out on her ear. Husband divorced, remarried. Lover, General Cowan's dead. Best friend, Lady C, married to husband.
So, now she's claiming that she made loans to the Colonel amounting to £1,086. And when they divorced, he promised that though he was stony at the time, he'd pay a proper alimony as soon as he was back on his feet.
And now he's married Lady Carnarvon. He's rich as Croesus. The ex-wife wants some of it. Excellent. Now, while I finish this, you pop outside. Make a cab happen. Afternoon, Birkett.
Sir Edward.
Train was on time for once. Medic, bring tea!
Oh, you've got the gist of all this, I assume?
Well,
Grasping hussy suing ex-husband in the hope of getting paws on Carnarvon millions. Do they actually own the Tutankhamun treasure?
There is, I think, a more pertinent question.
Yes.
Are we sure we should be taking this case at all?
What?
I said...
No, I heard what you said, Birkett. The what was an expression of consternation. Of course we should be taking this case at all. We should be scooping up this case with welcoming arms, holding it aloft and giving thanks to the gods of 1,000 guinea briefs for the great bounty they have bestowed on our unworthy heads. Indeed, I feel we should sacrifice a bullock. Do they have bullocks at Harrods, Edgar?
Not in stock, sir. They can get one on order.
It's other people's dirty washing.
Titled other people.
I don't want to sound pompous, but wouldn't we be better expending our efforts on something a bit more worthwhile?
Oh, how delightful, in such a dark and cynical borough as this, to be entranced by the bright gleam of idealism.
I only
No, please. I respect and admire your idealism, Birkett. I do. Of course I respect and admire your idealism. I respect and admire your idealism because I, too, am an idealist. I, too, came into the law to take a stand for truth and justice, to defend the little man. But I learned early in my career that effective advocacy comes not from mere knowledge of the law, nor from persuasive rhetoric. Above all these things stands reputation.
Indeed.
An
Edward,
advocate with reputation, whatever his shortcomings, will have his knowledge respected, his questioning feared, his rhetoric heeded. He will have his justice. He will defend the little man. But reputation, Birkett, was never one defending cookshop embezzlers in Birmingham and sheep meddlers in Gloucester. Reputation is won only from prominent cases involving prominent people doing prominent things, ideally with prominences. Will somebody answer that bloody telephone? Here we have the curse of the mummy's tomb, a wealthy widow, adultery, filth, scandal, and mayhem. The newspapers will have very little room left, so much as a weather report by the time we get to court. Prominence. Do you see? Reputation. Joy. And all you can say is, should we be taking this case at all? Here, let me stand you a bullock, Birkett. Edgar, make that 2 bullocks.
Lady Carnarvon, sir, on the telephone.
Lady Carnarvon, Edward Marshall Hall, I am so very distressed to hear of your difficulties. What is it now, Birkett?
I thought this was your case. I still don't quite understand why Lady Carnarvon requested my presence.
I'm afraid she took a liking to you, sir, when she met you yesterday morning. She wants you involved.
In what capacity?
She thinks. You tell him, Edgar.
She described you as Sir Edward's assistant. I did correct her most vehemently, sir, but when she has an idea fixed in her head...
She thinks you're lucky.
Lucky?
It's your hair. She says ginger men always bring good luck, and she likes your spectacles, too. Gives intellectual weight to the case.
So I'm here because I'm ginger and wear specs. No matter how far you travel, you never really escape the playground, do you?
We called it the quad. Ah!
Sir Edward.
Lady Carnarvon.
These are, of course, matters of an extremely delicate nature. At your chambers, I feared the possibility of our being overheard.
Of course.
They are very discreet here.
Excellent. Well, Birkett, you seem to have a grasp of the legalities of the situation. Perhaps you'd care to.
As far as I understand the matter, your involvement in the case, ma'am, is indirect.
I don't
Well, Mrs. Denniston is not suing you, but your husband, Colonel Denniston.
Yes, but it's my money she's after. Ian has no money of his own.
Of course. So it seems to me the case hangs on what written evidence or witnesses Mrs. Denniston can produce to support her allegation that the Colonel took her money and promised her alimony, or have I...
I don't think you understand, Mr. Birkett. I want to see this woman exposed for the trollop she is. I want to see her stand in the dock, and I want to see every last one of her lies, her betrayals, her perversions exposed. I want to see her absolutely humiliated, her reputation ground to dust. She can seduce, Mr. Birkett. She can beguile. But no decent man could ever love her, because a woman like that can never be loved.
Yes. You see, the difficulty that leaves us with is that Mrs. Denniston is the plaintiff and your husband is the defendant. So unless these matters of which you speak are pertinent to the matter at... You see, strictly speaking, what you are asking is not, strictly speaking, the business of the law.
Strictly speaking, Birkett. On the other hand...
Oh, it's what I always feared most.
What did you fear most?
Being a lapdog lawyer.
What is a lapdog lawyer?
Panting around after grand ladies and gentlemen who can afford to clog up the courts with their petty grudges and squabbles. They should just cough up the money and leave it at that. Damn them.
Then you can console yourself with the news that very shortly there will be no more grand ladies and gentlemen.
This is what the Daily Express says.
The rising tide of Bolshevism will sweep them all away. Have you seen the unemployment figures in the iron foundries of the North and the brass foundries of the Midlands? They will erect a guillotine on the steps of Buckingham Palace, and the sound of tumbrils will echo on the cobbles of the Mall.
Is that the little cart?
Yes, the tumbril.
Ah.
Lady Carnarvon wants both of us in court. She's paying to have both of us in court.
With me as what? Your junior?
It's not unusual, sir, for two silks to be in attendance at a trial like this.
You probably know I am not a well man, Birkett. In Manchester, I had to ask for 3 adjournments. Phlebitis can be an extraordinarily painful condition. And then there's the other thing. Now, it wouldn't do at all, would it, if for medical reasons I was forced to take to my bed in mid-trial, leaving Lady Carnarvon abandoned and... Well, we wouldn't want her to think badly of us, but with a man like you, acting, as it were, as first reserve...
A ginger-headed man with glasses.
That's the idea. I knew you'd understand. So, what I suggest is, Edgar, you had a list, the dramatis personae. We'll divide them up. Start by... You take the Lieutenant Colonel. I'll take the, French... Oh, the,
French maid.
Yes, of course.
Mademoiselle Sina.
Sina. That's the one.
Douglas will take your coat. Come on through, come on through. Please, sit down.
Thank you.
Cigarette?
Pipe, man.
Oh, you should try one of these. Chap makes them up for me in Bond Street. Turkish, Virginian, and, interestingly enough, French blend. Some people find French tobacco a little harsh, but I lived there, you see, so I got used to it. I expect Douglas will bring us some coffee in a while, unless you'd prefer tea, of course.
Coffee will be excellent. Now, Colonel...
Ian. Ha! Everyone calls me Ian, except Dorothy, of course.
Your ex-wife?
Yes, yes. She called me Tiger, and I called her Little Brown Mouse.
You and your first wife married young, I believe.
Oh, yes. My pa was against it from the start.
Now, the question to which we have to address ourselves here and in court is, at the time of your divorce from Mrs. Denniston, did she lend you money?
Well, she gave me a few pounds. There was never any understanding it was a loan.
And did you ever promise to make payments or alimony to her when you were on your feet again?
Well, I may have said something of the sort. It would have been heartless not to, just to cheer her up, you know? She was looking most terribly gloomy. But one often says things one doesn't mean, doesn't one?
Was anybody else present when you said this?
Well, there may have been. She always liked people around. But you see, she said that thing about forsaking all others, and she would love, honour, and obey, didn't she? And she didn't mean a word of that. And I once told a chap I'd never touch whiskey again. These things seemed so true at the time.
Would you say you were on your feet now?
Oh, I should say so. Almina very generously subbed me 20 thou before we were married, and 100 thou on the wedding day. Oh, and she set me up with this place. A chap needs a flat in town. It's a grand place, isn't it? I'll show you around if you like. There's a zebra skin in the bedroom. Oh, yes, and I bet you haven't got one of these. This is a 2-valve Marconiphone. Oak horn, you see? Very good. Yeah. Takes a while to warm up. Chap I know says he might be able to get me an American 4-valve.
If we could...
Yes, of course. It'll come on in a minute.
Yourself and your wife, you enjoyed at first a happy marriage?
Well, we were always very jolly with each other, if that's what you mean.
When did you begin to suspect your wife's infidelity?
Which time?
There was more than one occasion.
Oh, yeah. I knew of about 6 of them. Regular League of Nations. There was a Hungarian, a Spaniard, then a Pole who liked horses, and, of course, there was a general.
She told you about them?
Oh, she told me everything, after the upset with the first.
The first was,
Oscar Senhouse.
But you never thought to, I'm sorry, I'm finding this rather,
Oh, there now. There we are. Lovely tone. We could have it louder than that. Or quieter.
Your attitude towards your wife's adultery...
Oh, it was never any use having an attitude. She always said, you see, that it took more than one man to make her happy.
But why did you not take a strong line on it?
I'm married against Pa's will. I could have divorced Dorothy in 1911, I suppose, when I first found out about Senhouse, but that would have been owning up that Pa was right all along. I'm not a prig, Mr. Birkett, but on some matters I do have my pride.
I can see that.
And then Senhouse was killed at Lewes, 1915. Dorothy was so upset. Poor brown mouse, he cried for almost 45 minutes. And then, well, there may have been some others in between, but the next important one was Jack Cowans.
General Sir John Cowans.
Now, Dorothy has tried to claim that she only made up to him because I asked her to, but you know that's all bunk, don't you?
Why should you have asked her to make up to him?
Well, I had almost £1,500 worth of debts, you see. And Jack was able to swing me promotion to a third-grade staff appointment in Jamaica. $300 a year and accommodation. Now, a chap giving me a job because he's sleeping with my wife, that's one thing, isn't it? But it's rotten to say that I put her up to it. I never had that sort of influence over Dorothy anyway. She did whatever she wanted. The General's name won't be mentioned, will it?
The General's?
I don't think it would do for his reputation to be compromised, a man like that. And after all, he is dead.
Yeah, I believe the intention is to refer to him throughout the trial as General X.
Good. Oh, look at the time. It's almost 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a previous appointment?
No, they just started doing this thing on the wireless, you see? Every hour and the half hour.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't...
Good afternoon. It is 4 o'clock, Greenwich Mean Time.
You can set your watch by that.
Remarkable.
The white ones.
Those are the white ones, Sir Edward.
These are the small white ones. I want the large white ones in the brown bottle.
Good morning.
Ow.
Something wrong?
It's my leg.
Oh, dear.
There are days when the pain is unbearable.
Should I get a doctor, perhaps?
I've had enough of doctors.
Here you are.
I take 3 of these and it subsides.
I'll see if I can find a footstool.
If I use a footstool, I have to sit back. If I sit back, it excites the piles.
Are you sure you wouldn't be better off at home in bed? I'm sure I
One of the
manage...
most sacred of all the many sacred precepts of English law, Birkett, is that the show must go on. The courtroom is our stage, and we clerks and barristers merely players. Oh, don't give me that look. Well, no different. I've seen that galvanic thrill that lights up your eyes when you realise you have the jury spellbound. You're a ham, Birkett. The same as I am, same as every lawyer since Solon and Cicero. You're a ham.
I was merely wondering whether the cross-examination of Mrs. Denniston
We do
might...
exactly what Lady Carnarvon asked of us. We paint her as a liar and a strumpet.
I don't see how that constitutes any sort of defence at all. She's claiming what in effect amounts to a verbal contract.
We reveal Dorothy Denniston as a woman who cannot tell truth from lie, a slave to promiscuity and a moral imbecile, thereby discrediting every word she says.
If, perhaps, I might be
permitted... the eloquence of that tentatively raised finger and the pursed mouth. Of course, you're right. What we are engaged in here is nothing more nor less than mudslinging. You're a ham, and this is a French farce. You're in a French farce, Birkett. So drop your trousers and make the most of it. Ow! Is Mrs. Denniston in court yet?
I believe so.
Have you seen her?
I have.
How is she looking? Anxious? Haggard?
Did you ever see a cinema film of Mary Pickford? I mean, a newsreel film. That rare combination of utter innocence and absolute self-possession.
Are you stricken, Birkett?
I'm describing what I saw.
She's a man-eater.
Much more dangerous than that.
A challenge, then. Now, pass me that, the red thing.
This?
It's my India rubber cushion. Brings respite to the piles on the comfortless benches.
Sir Edward.
One moment, my lord. There. I'm afraid it leaks very slightly, my lord, but I can assure the court that it takes but a few puffs of air to restore its plumpness. I apologise to the court and to you, Mrs. Denniston, for this unfortunate delay. There. Now, Mrs. Denniston, do you have any motive for dragging your husband before this jury and before this court other than naked money-grubbing greed?
Sir Edward!
Affliction momentarily caused me to forget myself, my lord. Let me rephrase. Mrs. Denniston, why have you brought this action?
At the time of our divorce, my former husband made certain promises.
A man should stand by his word.
A noble sentiment, Mrs. Dennistoun. A man should be worthy of trust. And what about a woman? Should a woman also be worthy of trust?
In the general scheme of things, of course.
In the general scheme of things. Perhaps, Mrs. Dennistoun, you could tell us how you first came to meet the man we have agreed in this courtroom to refer to as General X.
General X and
I'm not satisfied, Sir Edward, with the General's name being withheld. One invariably runs the risk with this kind of prevarication of making every general in the land into an object of suspicion and conjecture. The general in question is dead, I believe?
He is, my lord.
Then let's be done with it and ask Mrs. Denniston, who was he?
General Sir John Cowans.
Silence.
Can you tell us how you first met General Sir John Cowans?
I met the General at luncheon at Lady Miller's.
And the second time you met him?
Was in Paris, in 1916.
Where was your husband at the time?
He was with us for dinner, but then he had to leave us.
To go where?
To rejoin his regiment.
And that same evening, almost as soon as your husband's back was turned, you returned with General Cowans to his hotel room and became his mistress. Is that correct, Mrs. Dennistoun?
It wasn't quite so straightforward.
The ways of deceit never are. Yet whatever the complications, the negotiations, the ramifications, you became his mistress. And I ask you, Mrs. Dennistoun, is this the action of a woman worthy of trust? Or is it the action of a woman who has sunk to the very depths of moral turpitude?
Sir Edward, that is a disgraceful imputation entirely without foundation.
I submit there is foundation.
Mrs. Denniston, you do not have to respond to that accusation.
I have never thought of my actions in that light at all. And the suggestion that Sir John was in any way morally deficient is a preposterous slander.
Mrs. Dennistoun, one moment.
Sir Edward, if you are ill, we must adjourn.
I am not ill. Mrs. Dennistoun, perhaps I could ask you about your involvement with the Spanish gentleman, Senor
Bollin.
Senor Bollin. In 1921, after you had been divorced from your husband, you were effectively living with Mr. Bollin, were you not?
No.
I have a written statement from your former maid, Marguerite, that General Cowans came to see you in your London flat while Senor Bollin happened to be visiting, and that Senor Bollin was forced to conceal himself naked in your private dressing room until the General left.
Marguerite is a delightful young woman, Sir Edward, but you must not set too much store by her tittle-tattle.
And when General Cowans lay dying, he asked to see you, but you refused.
It was impossible for me to see him. I was in Paris at the time.
You were staying at the Ritz Hotel in Paris with Senor Bollin.
Senor Bollin always stayed at the Ritz Hotel. I tried to see him as much as I could because we were engaged.
Engaged to one man, divorced from a second, while a third lay dying. Why didn't you marry Senor Bollin?
He was a foreigner, and 5 years younger than myself.
And, I submit, fell short of your exacting standards by several thousand pesetas.
If the implication
We have heard about Senor Bollin. We have heard about General Sir John Cowans. We shall, in a moment, hear about the 3 days you spent in a hotel in Lisbon with Colonel Innes and another woman.
Colonel Innes
We shall
was-
hear about Prince Bella Odescalchi and his thoroughbred ponies, about Mr. Oscar Senhouse.
He died.
Just
fighting
how many
for his
men in
country.
your life have you had devoted to you, Mrs. Dennistoun? Shall I carry on with the list?
This is not a Mozart opera, Sir Edward. I think we'd better leave it there.
Pages 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Ordeal in the box. Mrs. Denniston's duel with Marshal Hall. The other man she loved. Mrs. Dennison denies putting the screws on.
Sir Edward bullied her.
The Express calls it brutal bluntness.
He bullied, he hectored, he stumbled, he forgot people's names. He's a sick man.
She wore a sealskin coat and hat, and just a suspicion of nervousness at the outset soon vanished. Oh, the Express likes her.
Do they?
Who could not admire a woman who has a naked toreador concealed in her dressing room?
He isn't a toreador.
The Express describes him as such.
Oh, must be true then.
But the Express does not take kindly to Sir Edward dragging the sacred name of General Cowans through the mud. The famous Quartermaster General whose organising genius fed and clothed the British Army so successfully during the Great War.
And Sir Edward had the good grace to accuse him of moral turpitude.
Other names of people well known in society were also mentioned in the case. On Sunday we must buy a copy of News of the World.
Yes?
They claim to have a great deal more information about the various carryings-on. It is rumoured they have been intercepting telegrams.
It should be closed down immediately, then.
Other equally well-known people were referred to by their initials. Tell me.
I don't actually know.
You do, and you have to tell me.
I don't.
SB.
What?
Stanley Baldwin. Your eyes flickered. I can tell. Mrs. Denniston is having a steamy affair with the Prime Minister.
Along with Charlie Chaplin, Calvin Coolidge and the Emperor of Japan.
I do hope that Charlie kept his hat on.
It was a robust cross-examination. People like to see a bit of cut and thrust.
I think, though, that when it's a rather frail-looking woman...
Frail? Mrs. Denniston is the least frail woman I've ever encountered. She is a vixen.
But in the public sympathy...
Oh, sympathy be damned. The jury knows she is a trollop. We put the ex-husband in the box, present him as a model of integrity, honour and intelligence. We're home and dry.
Denniston's a silly ass.
That's as may be, Birkett. But you see a nicely judged cross-examination, and you...
Good morning, gentlemen.
Edgar, you're late and I can't find my pen with the red ink in it.
Sorry, I was a bit held up. A message came for the judge. He wants everybody to be told.
What message?
A message from the king.
Oh. And?
He's shocked and disgusted.
The king? About what?
By both the behaviour of certain members of the aristocracy and by the frank nature of some of the disclosures in this morning's newspapers. He fears for the consequences.
Oh, what consequences?
Loss of respect for our betters and the resulting tumbrils, I shouldn't wonder.
Oh.
Is that Edward?
Quite takes the wind out of your sails, a thing like that.
What?
A ticking off from the king. I do hope you weren't right, Birkett.
About what?
About taking on this case in the first place. If it's putting us in the king's bad books. Who's next, Edgar?
Mademoiselle Sina.
Oh, the little French maid.
Are we to have this performance every morning?
It is the work of a moment, my lord. You see? My deepest apologies, Mademoiselle Sina, for the slight delay.
You are forgiven?
Oh, you are most gracious. Now, Mademoiselle Sina, when did you arrive in this country? Quand est-ce que vous êtes arrivé dans ce pays?
Next Sunday, a month ago.
Mademoiselle Sina speaks very little English, my lord. I shall therefore endeavour to translate her replies to the best of my ability.
I'm not sure that is acceptable, Sir Edward. Although I suppose if Sir William has no objection.
None, my lord.
Very well, then.
I ask the court to note that I am passing Mademoiselle Sina a photograph of Mrs. Denniston and Signor Boleyn.
Ah, and is he a bullfighter?
I beg pardon, my lord?
The newspapers described him as a bullfighter.
Oh, he is not a bullfighter by profession, my lord, but I believe he has fought bulls.
Carry on.
Mademoiselle Sina, are you able to identify either the lady or the gentleman in the photograph? Pouvez-vous identifier les personnes dans la photographe?
Monsieur Boleyn and Madame Boleyn.
Oh, she says it's Mr. Boleyn and Mrs. Boleyn. Undisguised concubinage, do you see? Did Monsieur Boleyn ask for a double bed to be put in Madame Boleyn's hotel room? Est-ce a-t-il, Monsieur Boleyn, a-t-il demandé un double lit pour être maître?
Me, Me, pour être me.
Thank you, my lord. Pour être me dans la chambre de Madame Boleyn, dans l'hôtel.
No, on February the 10th for Mr. Boleyn.
She says...
She was speaking in English.
Yes.
But I don't think she understood the question.
No. Mademoiselle Sina, je répète. A-t-il Monsieur Boleyn demandé un double lit pour être mis dans la chambre de Madame Boleyn dans l'hôtel?
I don't understand.
She says...
Perhaps your French is too classical.
With respect, my lord, unlike Greek, I don't believe that there are classical and demotic forms of French. It should be noted, however, that Mademoiselle Sina is not French, but Swiss.
Ah. Does she speak German?
I'll ask. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she says yes.
And you, Sir Edward, do you speak German?
Lamentably, no.
Silence.
Mr. Birkett!
Edgar?
Oh, thank goodness I found you. Sir Edward's taken a turn for the worse.
Is it serious?
He collapsed in court.
Oh, dear.
They've taken him home. He's in a great deal of pain. He asked me to ask if you could take over.
Oh.
Just for the cross-examination of Colonel Denniston, and then, God willing, Sir Edward will be well enough to come back for the closing remarks.
Oh, Lord.
He wants you to...
You make a silly ass seem a model of integrity, honour and intelligence. Oh, give me base metal, I'll turn it into gold, but this...
Oh, no more names.
What?
Sir Edward specifically asked that you shouldn't mention any more names of prominent persons, not even initials. On account of the King doesn't like it.
Colonel Denniston, shortly after that fateful night in Paris, you received a letter from Mrs. Denniston.
Yeah, she told me that she and General Cowans had done certain things.
And how did matters stand when you next saw your wife in London?
Oh, she rounded on me. She told me that the affair with Cowans was all my fault. I ought not to have left her in Paris.
And what did you say?
Nothing. I can't remember. I was very drunk.
And when was it that your wife first raised the question of divorce?
Oh, that was later.
The divorce arose because of her adultery with General Cowans?
Well, no, the divorce arose because she wanted to marry Chico.
Chico?
Senor Boleyn, the bullfighter.
Ah, he was then a bullfighter.
Oh, yes, but I don't think he was ever a matador, if that's what you mean.
I'm not sure I understand the distinction.
My lord?
No matter.
Mr. Denniston, I want you to consider this question very carefully. From the outset, did you ever consider your marriage to Mrs. Denniston a satisfactory marriage? Given the circumstances of her many infidelities, could Mrs. Denniston ever have been considered, in the accepted sense, your wife?
Yes, of course. Why else would I have... I loved her.
What financial arrangements had you made with Mrs. Denniston at this time?
Well, I was giving her about £42 a month from my army pay.
A substantial portion. Did you have other means?
None at all.
So this payment left you in somewhat reduced circumstances. Where were you living at the time?
I was living in a servant's room in Paris.
And where was
Although,
this...
to be absolutely accurate, I was often staying at Myriel's flat.
Myriel, I don't think we've had...
Myriel was the mistress of Jean-Pierre Polignac, the French ambassador to Norway. But you see, when he was abroad, which was a lot, she grew very lonely.
If we could perhaps return to the matter of the alleged conversation that took place...
Perhaps we should take an adjournment, Mr. Birkett.
And he thinks this is a good time to mention he had a French mistress.
Did come as a bit of a shock.
What the hell was I supposed to do?
Mr. Birkett!
Oh, Lord.
How dare you? How dare you put words into my husband's mouth? To twist and trick and distort. You made my husband look a fool.
Oh, I'm
you
sure.
made me look a fool.
Yeah.
He never loved her. What right had you to trick him into saying he ever did? I'll ruin you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You evil, evil little man.
Oh, Lady Carnarvon,
You are
Lady Carnarvon.
evil.
Officer! Your ladyship!
Some soup, then?
No. Really, I couldn't manage a thing.
A lightly boiled egg.
I'm so tired.
Shall I run your bath?
So shameful. So horribly footling and so inept. Scrabble through the tittle-tattle and sensationalism, there is actually a real case here. A matter of genuine legal principle. But has Sir Edward bothered to find it? Too blinded by the glitter. Billy?
Yes.
When the communists do take to the streets, when they erect the barricades and when they stand shoulder to shoulder against rank and privilege...
Yes.
They're going to have a hell of a fight on their hands, you know. At this time of night?
Elsie can get it.
Look out of the window, would you? See who it is.
Oh dear.
What?
Telegram.
And obviously, he realised it would leave you very little time to prepare.
And he decided this last night.
It's not really his decision, though, is it, sir? It's doctor's orders.
And since when did Sir Edward pay the slightest attention to doctor's orders? I am to give the closing speech for a defence which I have not conducted and which, given the choice, I would most certainly have conducted in a very different fashion.
He prepared you the notes.
One page of illegible scrawl. The only word I could make out is turpitude.
Well, if we could just run through the main points.
How is anybody supposed to sum up a back-alley scrap between two rats and a ferret? The dustbin trial. Did you see that? Punch called it the dustbin trial. The trial that has made a laughingstock of marriage, the law, the military and society. Pop into the shop here. Get the morning papers and bring them to me in the robing room, would you, Edgar?
Which ones?
All of them.
What are you going to do, then?
I'm going to raise the tone. You have, I am sure, been aware that the newspapers have taken some interest in this trial. Lurid, sensational accounts of the disclosures we have been hearing day after day. Here is the Daily Express. Front page photograph of Lady Carnarvon beneath the headline, Queen Tut's Love Triangle. Here is the Daily Mail. Tiger loved his brown mouse. The Daily News, the Daily Mirror, all telling the same tawdry story. The Daily Chronicle, the Daily Graphic, the Daily Sketch. Front page accounts of what Punch has rightly dubbed the dustbin trial. And I want you to ask yourselves, why would Lady Carnarvon, whose moral probity has not been questioned at any point during the course of this trial, why would she allow herself to be pilloried in this horribly public manner? Is it for the sake of... How much is Mrs. Denniston asking for? £1,086. A sum Lady Carnarvon could have paid, barely noticing the loss. Well, the idea is preposterous. Now, Lady Carnarvon and her husband have not come to this court for money or for any other base motive. They have come to this court. They have sacrificed their privacy to make a selfless stand for the sacred principle that this kind of extortion, for that is what it is, should never, can never, and will never prevail. Sexual matters are of hot blood, not cold, calculated bargains. Mrs. Denniston has said that she admired General Cowans. Has this woman ever thought of the attack she has made on him? She says that she admires him, but now that he is beyond the grave, she defames him. She does not hesitate to drag the name of the dead General Cowans. Let us, if we can, clear away the fog of calumny, accusation and confusion that has so dogged this trial, and concentrate our minds on hard legal facts. To the jury's satisfaction, has Mrs. Denniston established that Colonel Denniston entered into a verbal agreement to assist and support his wife in her customary station of life? Mrs. Denniston, as we have seen, has a quick brain. She has absolute composure. She has, throughout, been attempting to twist the law of England in order to use it as a means of legitimising blackmail.
And have no doubt. Yes, well, I wonder if he's not well enough to come to the telephone. Could you tell him that Mr. Birkett has been on his feet for nearly 4¼ hours? Lady Carnarvon is moved to tears by his eloquence, and Mrs. Denniston is looking very sorry for herself. Oh! Yes, and I think he's finished.
Silence! Silence!
So with one short speech, this is what it says in the Daily Express, although of course I praise you, with one short
Nearly
speech...
4½ hours.
In one 4½ hour speech, you redeemed the reputations of Lady Carnarvon, of Lieutenant Colonel Denniston, and of General Sir John Cowans. You restored the dignity of English law and the English aristocracy, and in so doing, you delivered the country from the ravages of communist revolution. This final address rose to the heights of eloquence rarely heard in a court of law. Mr. Birkett left the courtroom at the top of his profession.
Ham.
Ham.
It's a theatre term. I played to the gallery. My eyes were bright with the gleam of conquest. Solon was a ham. Cicero was a ham. Sir Edward Marshall Hall is a ham. And now I am a ham. But I am, it must be said, and I am not proud of this, I am, clearly, very, very good at it.
In Birkett and the Naked Toreador by Caroline and David Stafford, Norman Birkett was played by Neil Dudgeon, Sir Edward Marshall Hall by Nicholas Jones, Edgar, Alan Raglan, and Billy by Bonnie Engstrom. Lady Carnarvon was Joanna Munro, Denniston, Carl Prekop, Dorothy, Adjoa Ando, Mademoiselle Sina, Victoria Inez Hardy, and the judge was David Stafford. The director was Mark B.